Family, a group of people closely related living together. Disability, an inability to perform some or all of the tasks of daily life. Family plus disability equals challenge. What's it like to live with someone with a disability? What's it like to know that your child with a disability might not have the opportunity to become independent on their own? What's it like to spend your golden years caring for a family member with a disability? And what is it like to do these things without help? Respite, giving families a breather. Utah families caring for someone with a disability are in dire straits. Many take pride in taking care of their own, but for some, taking care of their own is overwhelming. The emotional, financial, and physical strain is tremendous. Hoping that extended family, neighbors, church, and charitable support will fill in the gaps is unrealistic. Lifelong care of an individual with disabilities requires more than you can expect from volunteers. Public funding of services for individuals with disabilities rescues families from crisis. If we don't pay to help now, we'll pay far more later. We can't afford to let families fail.
He's got infantile autism, and he's very profound. He's got language processing, expressive receptive language processing disorder with that. He has a diagnosis of MR. He's just turned 20. The property destruction, if he wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, for instance, which he does quite frequently, he'll occasionally wake up and start ripping the sheetrock off the walls and try to go after the wires. We're not completely sure if it's because he can hear the electricity in them. Then he'll start going after the people who are trying to intervene. And there's kicking, hitting, punching, biting, scratching. He'll rip your clothes off from the inside out. The severity of that can be anywhere from fingernail scratch marks that cause bleeding to plastic surgery. With our situation, there's a lot of people that really are very well-meaning, and they usually wind up in the same arena. Well, why don't you just have him go live somewhere else? Institutionalize him, put him in a group home, put him over here, because that's going to fix your problem. It's still your child. The other thing with Teddy is he does have some medical needs. Just make him so vulnerable that he would not survive it. And in my head, I still have this cute little blue-eyed blonde little boy with a bowl cut and a big smile. That's my boy. I'm not ready to give him away.
Respite care is a necessity for people like Susie. Her children have significant disabilities and recurring medical needs. They will never walk or talk. 3 of her boys are in wheelchairs, and she's uncertain about what lies ahead.
They have a undiagnosed hypomyelination disease. I've been told it's kind of like cerebral palsy. Their muscle tone is affected to where it's really floppy centrally, where they can't hold their head up very well, but then their arms and their legs are kind of stiff, so it's kind of awkward for them to try to pick things up or to do anything. It's hard for me to work, and so we struggle, and we don't have a handicap accessible van. We are on the DSPD program, and we receive respite care. It allows a caregiver to come into our home and help me with anything that I need help with. It seriously is a lifesaver. There's no way I could do what I do without the DSPD program. No way. I want them to stay with me in the home. I want to be able to care for them at home. I can't imagine them not being at home with me.
Imagine yourself in a situation where your child is a potential danger to your family. What if your extended family is unable to help you and you have no other supports? What are your options? Katie's parents, John and Kim, moved to Utah 4 months ago. They have no supports for Katie and were told there's no hope for any in the near future. Her aggressive behaviors require them to be within 2 feet of her at all times.
Katie's been diagnosed with severe autism, and as the years went by, we learned that she had very severe autism.
With Katie, she's like a light switch. She's either really good or it's the light switches and she's really not good. She's put holes in walls. She's, over the course of the year, she's destroyed 2 or 3 doors. But when she's good, she's good. She's happy. She's a hoot. She's got a great personality.
So, I mean, we're a family of busted lips and black eyes.
And we're constantly on alert.
Hand-shaped bruises.
That's the hard part, is when you let your guard down. Just for that second, she's taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
My sister is a nurse. She had her for 45 minutes and had a blowout, and she says, I'll never do it again.
That was the last time she ever watched her.
Yeah,
for us.
so as far as family, no. And we usually get the same response from people at church as well. Good intentions, but who knows what to do to help people that have kids with autism.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
If Katie's parents could look down the road, they might see a situation like Kylie and her sister Madison. Adults with disabilities living at home with behavioral issues and parents trying to cope still.
They are identical twins. They get up at 8:30 in the morning. We get them ready, and at 9 o'clock a staff member comes in for each girl. And then we start our day program, and it runs from 9 to 5 through their picture program. They decide what they're going to do, where they're going to go, and how they're going to, spend their time in their day. It consists of going out in the community. I think Madison will always choose to go on the train or the bus. And going to the library, she loves to sit and have someone read books to her. Family walked away a long time ago. Madison and Kylie are 25 years old. And within probably the first 3 years, people were burned out. Family was gone. My mother and father would come in and help once in a while as their health declined, but there's not family who are going to step in and take this over. It's just been Lynn and I. It's just where it's at. Because of the stemming and their inability to really stay on task and focus when they were younger, I don't think anybody would have ever taught them skills of any kind. So they probably would be sitting in a corner of an institution somewhere, stemming, never toilet trained, never having the ability to go into the community because they would never have had the skills to do that, never able to have a life or friends or anything. I just can't even imagine if we would have listened.
All of the families in these situations use paid support systems, if they have them. Because of the chronic, never-ending nature of their needs, paid supports have become part of the picture of care. Volunteers burn out. Unless a family is extremely wealthy, they cannot afford the entire cost of care. Day supports, helping adults with disabilities participate in life. What does an adult with a cognitive or physical disability do all day? People with significant disabilities can stay in public school until age 22 and use that extended transition time to obtain job skills. But what happens to families whose adult child leaves public school at 22, but who cannot acquire the skills needed for employment and independence? How do families cope with an adult child who needs 24-hour supervision for a lifetime?
He has autism and a seizure disorder.
Nathan has been here at Park for just over a year now. Graduated through the STEPS program here in Davis County, and we are paying for it. For us, we have always felt very strongly that Nathan is our responsibility. We will do all that we can, but we can see that in a few years, when Tom retires and...
Well, not only that, we've had a lot of support, a total of 4 children, but 3 older children, and when they were home and younger and available, they helped a lot.
Probably a little more help with this, with the day support. Yeah, we did a couple of years ago, they did a one-time funding for respite care. And so for 9 months, we had a little bit of funding there, and that was really nice. These people are at a little disadvantage, I feel. They just aren't able to advocate for themselves in the way that other people do. And so.
And programs like this certainly help, but he really needs something on a pretty ongoing basis to be able to maintain skills and abilities.
The benefits of day supports that lead to employment are powerful. Everyone wants to have a meaningful life and contribute to society. What would be the impact on your family, your marriage, your job, your finances, if your child with a disability completed public school but had no place to go during the day? Would you be able to just stay home to provide care? At Runway Ruby's Cafe on Hill Air Force Base, staff with disabilities handle the lunch crowd with great efficiency. Dawn has Down syndrome and is in her 7th year of employment with Einstein Bagels. She takes great pride in her work. David has been a loyal employee at Arby's for 10 years. The job coach who helped both David and Dawn land their jobs has nothing but praise for the program and the sense of purpose it creates.
When I first started working with Dawn, it was 7 years ago, and I don't even know that she had been employed before. And getting her the job at Einstein's and having the people be so willing to help and work with her.
I have a good boss. She always makes me happy and stuff.
She's a lot more outgoing. She used to be very shy. She didn't really want to say anything to the customers. But now I've seen that, the people, she will smile at them and speak, and try to help them out as much as she can. David, I know that every morning, this is what he wakes up and is raring to go to do. And now has just grown so much. People with disabilities can do just about anything that anybody else can, and they deserve that opportunity, just like the rest of us do.
Kimra and her husband Gary purchased a Maggie Moo's franchise so that their 2 adult sons, who both have autism and are nonverbal, could have a place to go to work. They look forward to their time on the job.
We bought this business, mostly a place for Spencer and Russ to work. We wanted them to have opportunities to, it's a safe zone, a place where Spencer can still go ahead and have his obsessive behaviors without interrupting anybody else. Ross can make as much noise as he wants, so it's a safe place and it's a good place for them to feel good about themselves as they work hard. I take it one day at a time, sometimes 1 minute at a time. It's an extremely demanding job to take care of the guys. It's very physical too. It's very different to be chasing after an adult man screaming around a bookcase in the library because someone shushed him. It's very different than chasing a little toddler and removing the child from the library. So there's a lot of physical work involved. I do all of these things because I so love my sons, but it's physically exhausting. So it's nice to have support from the government and the state so that I can still do what I enjoy doing and I'm able to conserve my energy for the long run, because this is lifelong. It's relentless and continuous.
Residential services, group homes, host homes, supervised independence. Imagine having to live with your parents permanently until they pass away. Would you want an alternative to an institutionalized life where most of your activities and even your mealtimes are dictated for you? People with significant disabilities can lead productive lives with supports in various living situations.
It's so valuable because the way it used to be, where it was a hospital type setting, people like Brandy weren't able to go out. It's valuable to them, it's valuable to the community. Her parents are not able to take care of her. I mean, we have some long-term staff that have been here for quite a while and stay here because they love the consumers. It's not, we don't work this field for the money, that's for sure. These are people's lives. I mean, and they're not just impacting their own lives, they're impacting the community as a whole. Right now they're talking about ratios of 1 to 3. We've got one gal right over there that has drop seizures. This one also has a seizure disorder. If Carrie were to drop and Brandy were to have a self-injurious behavior at the same time, asking one staff to deal with that it's next to impossible.
People with disabilities and their families don't want handouts. They need a hand up. parents need to be able to count on some respite hours to give them time to recharge. Restoring a frazzled parent's energy with scheduled breaks costs far less than the scenario of parents in crisis. If a family no longer can care for their child, everyone pays a much higher price. Day services provide jobs and a sense of contributing for our citizens with disabilities. They're willing to do the work. Let's give them the opportunity. Residential options for individuals with significant disabilities provide a sense of independence. Please support public funding for individuals with significant disabilities. Their families will always face significant challenges. But if we lend a hand now, we can save money by smoothing down the rough road and bringing hope for a promising future.